Any chance you want to see what it looks like when you're changing the oil in your Harvest Right freeze dryer? I kind of think you might want to see it. Now, I started it when I turn it off. Let's go in the garage and let's talk. It is cold in the garage, so if my teeth start to chatter, pay no attention. Just follow my word. Now, the first thing that you should know is that it is best to change the oil in your freeze dryer when it is warm, when the pump has ran. So you either plug the pump into an outlet and run it for a minute or two, or you change the oil when you turn off your machine. And that is what I prefer to do because I really don't want to turn my pump on when I don't need to. So let me turn you around and let's show you what I'm talking about. So this is the Harvest Right freeze dryer that I have. It is the large with the 5 trays, and I just shut it off and took out the caramelized onions. This is the pump. You want to have space between the pump because you want airflow because this guy gets really, really hot. Now, when this finishes a cycle, after the 20th cycle, I change my oil for the Premier pump. This is only for this colored pump. And then I unscrew it. You see my little setup here. I'll go back. See my little setup right there? And then this, I unscrew to this position to where it's up and down and all of the oil drains out right through there. And I put this underneath it to collect all of the oil. And it is slowly straining all of the oil. Yes, this is a Brita filter thing. And one of the guys told me that the filter that's in here is a Brita filter. And he said, just keep buying more. If you look back there, you'll see I have more Brita filters. Anyways, it is straining my oil. And then after it finishes straining my oil, I am going to turn this right here into the off position. That's the closed position. And then I'm going to take all of this oil when it's all finished straining, and I'm going to take this guy off and pour it back into there. And I'm only making sure I get the oil to that black line. I don't want it above or below. That little black line is the sweet spot because it will pump down and above and down and above, and it will, you want it at that line. You don't want it all the way full. A lot of issues can come up when it's all the way full. So I'm gonna wait for just a few more. I'm gonna put the cap on this guy right here, just like that. And because I don't wanna spill anything, I'll put him up here and I'm just going to wait. Look at how cute that is, right? Now, if it gets, it is cloudy. You know what? I think I'm just gonna put new oil in it. You really don't want to use dirty oil or oil that has a lot of water in it. So if it looks like it's got a lot of water in it, I'll let it sit for a bit. I'll just put new oil in it. I actually have a container of new oil right here, and it's the Robinair Premier Pump Oil, and I'll just pour that in. And again, I'm only going to pour to that line that I've written on my pump. So there you go. Now you know what I know. So easy to change your oil. So easy to filter it. Trust me, you can do it. Okay, so I have determined I am not going to use the oil that I just took out. And because sometimes I want to transition really fast because I want to start another load, I actually have 2 jars. This is jar number 1, and I literally will put a little check mark next to it, tick mark, when I've strained it. So I have only strained this one once. That is jar number 2 that you are looking at, that you were just looking at. So I'm actually going to put jar number 1 and then top it with fresh oil to get it up to the mark. And this is how you do it. You know, if you have a kitchen like Homestead, you get these little funnels, and this is just a plastic funnel that I have, and I open this up. It's actually a perfect time to change this. These are called the demisters, and the demisters, hang on. Demisters actually take the water that gets into the machine and it mists it off into like a little fog sometimes. And if it gets really bad, if the oil gets up in there, then you walk into your room and the whole room is like foggy and you're like, whoa, what was that? It's just the demister doing its job. However, this demister is an old one, and they had a batch that you couldn't take apart. They should come apart, and they should come apart so you can clean them. And this one does not come apart. When I called them, they said, oh, you have one of those batches. Don't worry, that's the ice melting. We'll send you one. So they sent me a demister that works and that I can take apart. So this is a perfect time to change it. Now, you're going to want to make sure the demister has the little metal ball that's inside there, and it has the black rubber gasket on it, and it does. I've already locked this. Pull it back. It's not on extremely tight, so you're going to want to pull it off. You never want to tilt it like this at all, ever. The only reason I'm doing this is because it's the bad one. This is why I have this right here, back here, because when I take it off, I immediately unscrew it and put it on there to rest. But we know that's the bad one. And this one doesn't have any oil because it's never been used before. So we're actually going to put that aside. We're going to unscrew the oil. Make sure it's all clean from dust before we open it. And we're just going to pour this in. We know that all of this will fit because all of it came out. You can't set this thing right on because there's a little mechanism that will stop the flow of oil. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you that you should pay attention to, if you hear nothing else, this thing will look like it's filling up fast, and then it will look like it's not filling at all. Like this line will not move at all. And then all of a sudden, you'll put more in thinking that you don't have enough. Don't do that. Wait 5 minutes, come back and check it, because this line will all of a sudden go up and over the line that you want to be at, which means you'll have to drain some. Now, I have my little cup. I have a towel in the back because yes, I do spill sometimes, and if you don't wipe it up, it will just smell in your garage. Okay, I am going to come back in a few minutes and see if I need to, how much more I need to. I put this on just to protect the oil, and you'll see where it's at right now, and then we will be back in a few minutes. I am glad I let it sit. It did rise just a little bit, so I only need to put a little bit of oil in there, and I will do that in just now. Okay, time to cap it. Remember, do not turn this thing upside down like I have it now. Do not do that. This is a brand new one. I am going to put it down. It's always funny trying to get it on, but you want to make sure that it threads on evenly and that the black gasket that's in there stays in there until you get it threaded. And that's all you do. You just slightly tighten it. And then you want to keep looking. There's the oil level. It's slightly above. I am within my target, and I am good for another load. I have no clue what that's going to be, but I will start working on that now. But the oil has been changed. I have 20 more cycles that I can use this. There you go. That is all there is to it. I have 20 cycles on that. Good. Okay. One thing off my list. Let's keep going.